everybody, welcome to my sewing room. Today I want to give you some tips on how to make this Majestic Mountains quilt. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to need is a strip set. One that has 20 prints and 2 copies of each print. Island Boutique is good for that. They have 40 strips and 2 of each print. The original was done in a Island Boutique strip set called Playful Purples. Today I'm going to show you how I'm going to put it together using one of their older lines called Speakeasy. The next thing you're going to need is 6 background prints. The original pattern called for white, but I'm going to use some beige. I pulled these out of my stash here, and I felt like they went pretty good with this strip set here. So we're going to cut those up. Got my strips laid out in the color order that I want. The pattern gives you a chart of where to put your darks and lights. Each pile has 2 in it, because I'm going to make 2 panels. So I'll start sewing these together in pairs. First sets of pairs are sewn together. I do them 2 at a time. Got A and B, A on top, B on the bottom. Okay, here's my ironing tips. This is B, this is A. I'm having all the A's pressed this way, and all the B's I'm pressing this way. You can kind of see the stitching here. And this is so when you start cutting, when you put A's and B's together, these seams will nest together really nice and help make your sewing of your rows nicer. The next group sewn together. Keep going. Just a few more seams to go, and I'll have both panels sewn together. This last one here, there was an extra, so I just put 3 on that one. Okay, I have 2 panels now. They're both identical. The only difference is this one, all the seams are pressed that way. And then on this one, the seams are pressed going that way. We'll call this one A and the one in the back B. And I'm going to put a pin in this row so I know it's row number 1. Same for this one, row number 1. I'm going to take this side and I'll come all the way over and sew it to this end. I'm going to make a tube. Okay, I got my tube sewn together and I've actually folded it in half. If you can fold it in half and not have too big of a lump right there, it'd be easier to cut everything. So now I'm going to trim up this edge. This is the one I started with. It's already kind of smooth. So I'm going to trim up that one. And I've labeled this one. As you can see, this is A and this is row number 1. I'll be able to figure out once I cut them all that this is row 1. So I'm only putting 1 pin in there and I'll keep it in the 1. But for now, I'll trim this up and then start chopping up the pieces that I need. Another tip is just a reminder to always measure twice, cut once. And watch out for kitty cat paws, because this pattern is going to utilize almost every inch of this panel, so you don't want to have any miscuts. And you may have to take breaks when it's kitty cat nap time. If your tube is a little wonky and doesn't want to fold in half, just fold it partially the way over. That can help as well. Just long enough so you can have it. It makes it easy to do it in just one pass, instead of having to scoot your ruler. Okay, here's what I have left. This is my B strip. This is my A strip. There's a little bit of wiggle room in case you do need to straighten up your edges better, or if you cut off a 1/4 of an inch by mistake. The B strip is a little bit bigger, so if you do cut and your cuttings are really good, you'll have enough left to get a little bonus strip. So I have my little bonus strip here. So this is all I have left over. That's going to go in my scrap pile. Okay, I have all my pieces cut. These are my A's. These are my B's. I just turned them over a little bit so I can distinguish between the two. Now I'm going to take whatever strip calls for in the pattern and put them in order. But in order to do that, I'm going to need to open these tubes. I need to open them at the right row, and I'll show you how to do that. Once we have all our strips cut and we're ready to start taking them apart, what you're going to do is you're going to take the size that says in the pattern and the row that it says, and you want that at the top. So this is row 1. So I need to separate these stitches. So I want row 1 at the top. So I'll just do that with my stitch ripper. Sometimes you can just do a little quick one. Okay, so then I'll open it, and now I have row 1 at the top. This is my B strip, so the next row it wants at the top is row number 2. So I know this print is row number 1. This is number 2. I want row 2 at the top. So I will open right here. Gentle tug. Alright, so there is row 2. Well, that's a little wonky cut, but that's okay. And pretty soon you'll see like the prints lining up. And I'll do this for all of them. And I'll line them up before I sew them together, so I don't make any mistakes. And I'll show you how I do that on my design wall. Okay, here we are at the design wall. Each time I unstitch a row, I put it on so I make sure that I'm going in the right wave. Sometimes you may get a little distracted or sidetracked and forget where you were. And in this case, this print here is here 3 times. I know this is number 1, but is this the right number 1? So what I'll do is I'll just line up my strip to see which comes next. I know that I need my wave to start going down. So these 2 match, so I need to go down 1. So now I know I need to take it out right there. And now I can be back on track. Another tip to help you, in case you think, uh-oh, I might have grabbed a wrong A or a B by mistake, is to check your seam allowances as you go. They should be opposite each other. So A is going up, B is down. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So I know I've got all my A's and B's right in a row. Okay, I got all my strips broke apart in the right spot. And I started sewing together in pairs, just like I did when I was making the panels. Just helps keep things straight for me to do it in pairs. And I liked how I have the A and the B. I have this A and the B and the seams all messed up nice, because the seams are pressed in opposite directions. To pin or not to pin? It's really up to you. I don't pin most of the part because these seams are pretty much lining up with each other. They nest real nice. I just wiggle with my finger. If I don't feel a gap, I just sew right on through. If it's a tiny gap, sometimes I can just give it a little pull and it will fit right in. This one is a little over, just give it a little nudge. This one here, I knew there was a little gap. I kind of felt down a little bit before, so I put a pin right there. And I'll kind of ease that in as I sew. Sometimes I peek, make sure that they're lined up right still. It's easier to do this with 2 hands. This one I'll probably pin because it's got a little give there. Just kind of ease that under the needle. Maybe try to make any folds. I do pause for each intersection. I just don't want to go so fast that I miss something. Because if you do sew and you just sew straight down, then if there is a gap, everything will be off when you get to the bottom. Okay, there's a little tiny gap here for me. I don't know if you can see it. So I'm going to pin that one, just so it doesn't make all my other layers off. So 3 pins. I had 3 pins in this one. Just 3. And let's open it up. And I'm just going to press it to the side. No fancy pressing on this one. And you can see all the, even without a lot of pins, just because the way the seams nest. And the way we did those panels, panel A I'll press one way and B press the other. Everything lines up really nice with very few pinning. Top is done. All my seams are nested together. Looking good. Time to make the back end and get it quilted. Have my quilt on the frame. I'm going to quilt it with feathers. some freehand feathers, but I need some starter lines for myself. So put one here in the corner, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I made another one. It kept going. Another one. And you can already see I got a little bit of feathers. So here's my line, and I just followed this line. And then I went the opposite way. Now to figure out where they're going to go, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces in between. So if it's this feather, we'll have 1, 2, and we'll share this third block. I don't know if you can see it on the dark here. It starts here, so 1, 2, and they share a little bit of this block. And then the feather will go. And then here is where it will turn around. And when I roll it, we'll go the other way. So let's get quilting.